This video audio podcast is my retaliation against trying to be organized. That sounds horrible. But what it is I've realized this past year that you're only as strong as your weakest systems. So I do understand and accept that I need to get systems in place to be better at everything that I do. But also, my mind is an easy bake oven. So I'll put something in for 20 seconds and then pull out like brownie sludge and eat it. And I don't know if I like have just psychologically convinced myself that, oh, this brownie sludge is delicious. I don't need to cook it longer. But sometimes that's what I do. And then I swing the opposite way where I want to start something. And I'm not a perfectionist by any means, but I don't actually do it. I work through it so much in my head, I feel exhausted. And maybe you guys can relate with that. Is you feel accomplished for thinking it, but you didn't actually do anything. Yeah, that's my MO right there. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. I'm improvising. Whereas in structuring it in the past, I wanted to have like kind of bullet points of what I wanted to talk about. But the problem is I don't know exactly what I want to talk about. So this is me spitballing. I hate that term. Improvising as we go. For a little backstory, I was a theater major in college. When I chose theater as a major, not one person told me, oh, what are you going to do with that degree? I just thought I was going to be a theater major, and then boom, act, and more act. Nope, opposite. I went into job interviews and they say, this says you were a theater major. I didn't even know that was a thing. And that was told to me more than once. And I remember sitting in the interview the first time I heard someone say that, and I instantly went, oh no, what have I done? Why didn't I do like digital marketing or video? And you know what? Actually, let myself off the hook is that wasn't fully a thing in 2004. Social media, I believe, was out there. I lived in a small farm town, and literally I was surrounded by farms. Cornfield, dairy farm is how I grew up. And we didn't have good internet. Internet stopped before the cornfield that led to our house. So we had to get, and it's still around. I'm going to trash talk it for a second. A company called HughesNet. It's satellite internet, and it is the biggest piece of garbage as far as a business and product and quality all in one. It's just trash. Because what it would do is it would give you a limit of, and I'm not kidding, 100 megabytes per day of download. And then once you downloaded more than 100 megabytes, and that means YouTube videos, YouTube ads. This was before streaming games. And it would just throttle your connection after you hit 100 megabytes. You couldn't even load an email. And it was so infuriating. My then girlfriend, now wife, was visiting the family and was visiting my family. And she watched or showed someone a Miley Cyrus video. And it was back before she went crazy. I think it was Party in the USA, maybe. I don't know. But because she showed them that video, it throttled our internet. It crushed it. And my brother Ben, who was an itty bitty kid at the time, was just so irate that you took away my internet because you showed me a Miley Cyrus video. It was just funny. Anyways, I just side tangent completely. I was a theater major. It was useless. The one thing that I benefited from it is because I like to perform. I like to be in front of a camera on stage, things like that. Now, after cancer, not so much. Before cancer, I would be in front of a camera filming this, and afterwards I just feel so energized. Even if no one watched it, I just feel great, and I would feel recharged because I was performing, and I was being silly, and I was improvising. And now after cancer, I find out, like, after something like this, I'm just tired. My brain isn't as fast as it used to be. Oh, that's where we were going. In college, see, I'm all over the place. In college, I was part of an improv troupe. We got to open for Wayne Brady. We got to meet Wayne Brady. It was so cool. And I used to be really quick because my mind's an easy bake oven. I don't do anything taking a long time. But now that post-cancer, I have chemo brain. self-diagnosed. It's not actually like the doctor's saying that, but I know for sure. I know how my brain used to work before cancer, and it doesn't work the same. It's not as fast, and I'm exhausted after. And I think that's what I'm going to try and do with this a lot. I might try to get myself a structural outline, because with improv, you're giving a set skeletal outline of what should happen or what the scene is, and then you go off of that. And that's what I want to do. And I want that skeletal outline. I just don't know necessarily what I want, because I want to focus on senior photography because I love that, and I want to talk to seniors and kind of get their viewpoint, because I'm not a young buck anymore. So I'd like to hear kind of what their perspective is, whether it's on senior photos or senior hype videos, or really anything social media wise, because I love that. And so from the perspective of social media and content creation, I just want to talk to other people and kind of get the insight in their world. And you can tell I'm Italian, so my hands are constantly moving. But so I want to talk about seniors, senior pictures, content creation, videos, reels, TikTok, and marketing for small business, digital content creation for small businesses. I live in a smaller steel town where small businesses and larger businesses alike just don't really appreciate social media for what it is. And I understand. I've talked to a lot of people that are like, how do you do that? Like, I die on the inside when I have to post something, or when I have to come up with a caption or anything like that. But for me, I've loved it from the beginning. I think, when was it? I moved to California in 2009, and it was me and 6 guys in a 2-bedroom apartment. And we were still each paying like $200-$300. It was crazy. But we were right outside LA. Actually, it was in Simi Valley. What? We were there, and it was a lot of bro time. And I found through that I needed an outlet to get my creative ideas out, because my brain don't work like everybody else's. I could tell this whole pitch and idea, and they'd be like, I don't get it. So I went for it. I did YouTube for a while. I loved it. I was obsessed with YouTube. The OGs of YouTube, I look at Shay Carl, Philly D, Phil DeFranco, iJustine, Mystery Guitar Man. Yeah, wow. I was in a video with Shay Carl. That was exciting. I met iJustine on in San Diego. Was it the Pier? Something like, I can't remember. But I was starstruck. Like more starstruck than I had run into Zachary Levi at a basketball game, and I ran into Halle Berry at a basketball game, and I was more starstruck with iJustine. 3rd Street Promenade, that's it, 3rd Street Promenade. So I've been watching YouTube from the beginning. I worked for a website company for a long time, so I learned kind of the ins and outs of what marketing looked like, what SEO, search engine optimization, and things like that. And it has changed a lot since the Wild West days of the internet. So I'd say a lot of my knowledge now is learned from the streets. And by the streets, I mean like YouTube and self-learning. So everything I'm going to say about social media, video, storytelling, digital content creation, things like that, is all like my opinion. It's not going to be A plus B equals C. And that's just the realm of social media marketing right now. So I'm going to share it all, though, my ideas, my information, and you take it and you, like, I like to Lukeify things. I get information, I add the Luke flavor and spin to it, and then I do it, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing here is I know I just need to film. I know I need to talk, and I'm sniffing a lot. I don't know. I can hear it. That's annoying. But we're 11 minutes in already. Holy poop nugget. But I want to share, because I'm realizing more and more people don't like doing social media or videos, and they don't get it. And when they do, they're either spending too much money and they're not doing it properly. So then they're like, that was a waste. But really what you have to do is you have to commit. You have to plan. You have to show up. And to a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They'd rather pay that out. And that's where I come in. I'd love to help any business make a mark on social media. But I've started a side thing of Scroll Breaker where we're going to talk about all things video and social media. And Scroll Breaker is to break people from the scroll that is the habit of scrolling. Breaking from the scroll. So with that, let's dive in, shall we? I love social media. It's a lot more exhausting now post-cancer. I always joke with my wife that, like, hey, it took cancer to make me feel like I can relate with you. Like, she just hates social media, interacting, small talk, things like that. And now I understand. I'm exhausted from it. But I still love social media. I love just scrolling through Reels and TikTok and see what the trends are. Memes are my last resort of like my hope for humanity. Memes are so simple yet so brilliant, and I think if you can find a meme that makes you heartily chuckle from the depths of your soul is a good thing. And I think that it's a great thing, actually. And actually, with memes, I feel like that is the gateway drug to going viral, to being a part of it. And you have to immerse yourself in it. You don't just, for those that work out and work out for fun, you don't just do it once and go, oh, it didn't work. You know, you have to commit. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort. And then eventually you see the results. And that's when you get excited. But the first part is you have to be disciplined about it. And a lot of people don't want to accept that with social media. I'm here to tell you, though, and I understand why. You see a lot of these breakout artists, like they have a video pop off, it goes viral, and then they're hugely successful. They're selling merch, they're getting speaking gigs, they're going on podcasts. But what we don't see is that they were posting, and I'm going to use the example that everyone uses, Mr. Beast. He's been posting since he was 11. I don't know. How old is Mr. Beast? Hold on a sec. How old is Mr. Beast? 25, 14 years. So you need to find a way to, and this is what's tough, when you're approaching it as a small business standpoint, you want to see a ROI, return on investment, where if I post this and do this and spend time and money on this, then I want to get this, 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 and this, whether it's sales, followers, contacts, interactions, engagements, things like that. So it is hard. I understand that, but you have to fully commit. And that's kind of why I'm starting this whole content calendar digital strategy group called Scroll Breaking, because the goal is to get you to make stuff to stop people from scrolling. Or even if it doesn't stop people from scrolling, I like to call it you're incepting them. You're planting a little bit of you in the subconscious of their mind. So as they're scrolling, they'll see that. And then if they have a need that matches what you were posting, they'll remember that because they saw it as they scrolled, if that makes sense. I think that's what we're going to talk about. Digital content strategy. I think that could umbrella over everything that I want to talk about. Because digital content strategy, I'm just talking this out to myself now, so this might not even be in the podcast/video, but I could include seniors because I'm finding out what they like what they look for. And then when we have parents on, we can find out what they look for. And as a photographer, I'm a photo video guy. I have my own photo and video company business. It's an LLC. It sounds way cooler than it is. But you have to kind of cater to multiple demographics, because what's interesting, I talked to a lot of photographers and the parents are the ones hiring them. But for me recently, the students have been the ones that have been hiring me. So I kind of work in both worlds right now. So I have to kind of play zone because it depends on who I'm catering to. But my mentality level, I'm like a little kid. So you're going to find a lot of reels that I post are very, we'll say #cringe king. And I wear that with a badge of honor. Let's rewind real quick. Let me talk to you about, sorry, I can't sit forward though. I'm going to lean back. Okay, I'm going to lean back. Don't mind me. Just to state again, I had cancer, esophageal cancer is in my esophagus and it spread to my stomach. So they removed my esophagus and put my stomach in my chest. So leaning forward for a long time makes me sick. So now I'm leaning back and that's why it looks like I'm riding dirty. Yo, yo, yo. Anyways, let's talk about the power of not caring what people think. Sometimes people use that as a crutch. And the more people say they don't care about what people think, they're just hiding the fact that they do care what people think. For me, I genuinely don't care what people think of me. Now, granted, I would hate for someone to think that I was a jerk to them when I didn't mean to be. But what I mean is, like, if you think I'm a dork, I am a dork. Like, I think I'm my biggest hater. No one can hate me more than me. And that sounds so sad and depressing. But what I'm saying is, if you can get to a place where you don't care what people think, you are no longer limited to what you can create. And me as a creative, and I think what it all boils down to is I'm a creative. I'm a artsy, fartsy, hippity-dippity creative that loves creating. Would it be cool if I could get paid for creating? Yes. Would it be cool if I can get interactions and views? Yes. But I do it for me. I don't do it for the views, for the clout. Now, granted, when you get in social media marketing and digital content creation, especially if you're doing it for a business, you have to focus on what people want. You want that clout. You want noticed. But this brings me to what I really want to talk about is currency. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about attention and time. They're separate currencies, but they are very similar. And what that means is you're like, now that I've, by God's grace, survived cancer, to me, time is my currency. Like, am I going to do this and waste this extra time I've been given to live? Yes or no? And then I got to decide and move on. Like, I may never be rich. I would like to be rich someday. I hope to make a ton of money someday. But until then, all I have is time. And everyone has the same amount of time, 24 hours in a day. Even the longest days are only 24 hours. I heard that quote somewhere and I was like, dang. So the playing field's even. No matter if you're miserable during those 24 hours or happy during those 24 hours, you have 24 hours to do stuff, to do it. Whether it's hustle and grind, which even that I'm like, is it worth it? Because of my surgery, and I'm going to bring this up with everything, is if I wake up to an alarm, because I don't have a sphincter or esophagus, I wake up to the alarm, it startles me, my body produces acid, and then I'm gargling on acid, and there's nothing I can do about it. And then I'm nauseous because I have like a lava lamp moving in me, and I try to get up, and it just messes with my whole day. So as of now, I don't set an alarm regularly because it impacts my entire day. I'd rather sleep in and try to make up for it later. So with that, I lost train of thought again. Time and attention. So time, personally, is the currency that I look for the most. Like, is this worth investing my time in? Is this worth doing? Attention is the other currency. And that's what not everyone can offer. And with everyone scrolling nonstop on social media to get their money, let's think from a business standpoint, to get their money, you have to get their attention. From a brand standpoint, you have to get their attention. From an anything standpoint on social media, you have to do something to get their attention. No matter if you're the best photographer in the world, best videographer in the world, you're the funniest comedian out there, if you don't have a way to get them to stop scrolling and see who you are or what you offer, then it doesn't matter. I'm still convinced the funniest people out there don't know how to use the internet. I'm convinced the best photographers out there don't know how to use the internet. And if you think about it in a way of attention, I have a buddy and he says different is better than good, because different is what gets people to stop their scrolling. And I think that's why I'm okay even more so with being cringe king, because what I do, if it makes some people cringe, it makes other people laugh. And I've always said, so being an actor, in first grade, I used to practice my signature all the time. How am I going to sign my autograph when I'm famous? And then as I got older, I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to talk? What are my quotes? And I had a quote. It feels weird to say out loud, but I always said, I don't care if you're laughing with me or at me, as long as you're laughing, I'm good. And that's the legit truth. Like, I will go, what's his name? Kevin James? Fatty fall down. He always did the fatty fall down humor where a fat guy falls, people laughed. I'm okay with that. Like, laugh at me. I don't care. When I'm doing a photo shoot and I'm climbing like the side of a little mini waterfall and I'm like, if I fall, it's okay to laugh. But make sure someone's filming because I want to get it on tape. So it comes down to just attention. And that is the currency. And I think once you can get the shift or focus of that mentality of attention, look at Lady Gaga, right? Do you remember when she first came out? She did a bunch of just random, weird, awkward stuff. And what it was just getting attention seeking. And everyone called her an attention seeker. And then she sang. But then, though, at some point, she became a legit artist and singer. I remember back, she had the all meat dress on. And she was just constantly seeking attention, using sex, things like that. But what it is she got the attention and then showed the world that she is an elite singer. She's so good. She's so good. And no one may have noticed if she wasn't doing what she was doing. And now I'm not condoning going Miley Cyrus wrecking ball style. But what it is you do need a plan. You need an idea to get attention. But then you have to be able to follow it up. If you get attention, you need to show them who you are, what you do, what you offer, and things like that. And it's one of those like, do as I say, not as I do, because I know a lot of things for social media. I just don't do it. And I think I'm going to start now again because I kind of feel convicted in like having all this knowledge and all these opinions that I haven't shared. So I'm going to just share it. And growing up in the YouTube world, in the metaverse, because I'm my biggest hater, I always feel like there's nothing I can offer people. But the more I interact with people, the more I realize like, oh, what comes easy to me and how my mind works, and I can edit a video on my phone or the computer all day and not blink an eye. Other people are like, I would rather die than do that. And then I'm finding a way to spin it and say, how about you hire me to do it for you? And then you don't have to do it. And that's kind of the idea of digital content creation. But with my goal, I've created a complete yearly digital content creation plan for 2024 that I'm going to be releasing weekly at a time. And you don't have to start at the beginning of January in 2024, but I'm just going to be making it so you can follow along. And you're going to watch me post it. You're going to see the interactions. And I don't have a big following of my own, and that's okay. And I'm not claiming to be a guru or a coach. I will never say I'm a social media coach. That just infuriates me beyond belief. But I am going to share what I know, what I think. And some of it you're going to be like, wow, you are dead wrong. And I might be wrong, but I'm going all in. And I've been, 2009, it's 2023. I've been doing this for 14 years. Whoa. Okay, so I just realized I started YouTube the same time Mr. Beast did. What's the difference? He kept doing it and I didn't. Now, part of it is I had some mild success with what I was doing, and it was exponentially growing at a faster and faster rate. But then I got doxxed, and this was 2010, between 2010 2015. So like, I'd still say it was the earlier part of like influencer status, and I got doxxed. And that, for those that don't know what that is, it's where someone posts where you live online, and that freaked me and my wife out. Rightfully so. So I just kind of backed off because I was like, this isn't worth it to me anymore. And now it's been long enough to where I'm creative. I need to create, even if two people see it. So that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm sitting here talking, not leaning forward, because, yeah. But so that's kind of the breakdown is, if we're going to approach digital marketing / content creation, then we need to be ready for the commitment. It's something that you can't be an easy bake oven on. And I've realized that. Now, granted, what I love, this is how I justify still getting to do my easy bake oven stuff. And it's with Instagram stories. Because with Instagram stories, you don't have to put in any effort at all. Now, granted, I will explain later, like there are points where you will, but I 100% believe that with Instagram stories, that's your chance. That's my radar. I call it the blip. It's your chance to be a blip on their radar. And by there, I mean anyone that's viewing your content, looking for similar content. Every time you post a story, it moves you to the front of the queue and you're a blip on their radar. So if they're just scrolling through, hopefully they'll just see you. And if they don't stop scrolling stories, that's fine, because it's just a story and it only lasts 24 hours. But I try to make a point to do every hour something in a story, whether it's resharing something that I've posted, sharing a funny meme or video that I like, or just something to keep showing that I'm relevant. I'm here. Don't forget me. Hey. And that sounds desperate. That sounds needy and clingy. Maybe it does. But to me, that's free marketing. But Luke, what if people get annoyed and they stop following? They can stop following. I don't care. I'm not gonna base what I do off of people thinking I'm annoying. If I did that, I wouldn't be doing anything in life because I'm a very annoying person, and I wear that badge with pride. Hashtag cringe king. The first time I saw that, I laughed so hard. My wife was mortified. She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No, this is great. That means they're watching." And once you're free to do whatever you want, that's where you can test the waters of social media and finding how much currency can you get in attention. This was fun. I like this. I hope it made sense. I'm kind of all over the place, but my goal is to get people on here. I want to interview and talk and pick your brain. Maybe I'll audit your social media, talk about, hey, here's what you can do. Whether you're just starting out on social media or you've been doing it for a long time, but you just haven't really seen any traction or success, like there's an opportunity for you to find your footing and go all in. It's just you have to be willing to put in the effort and not see the results right away. You have to play the long game. And sometimes that's frustrating. We live in an instantaneous world where I want what I want when I want it, and I want it now. And social media is not going to be that. Yeah, granted, there's some there's success stories where people blew up without even trying, but maintaining that's a whole nother level. So what it is we're going to join in this together. We're going to dive on into the world of digital content creation and marketing. And I hope to have you along for the ride. So feel free to, if you have any questions, comments, or what you want to see covered in this, I would love to hear your input. And that's the other thing is like, that's the biggest thing I've struggled with is I love interacting with people. Part of improv is you're interacting with people's ideas, people's actions, and things like that. So that's the only downside of when I don't get views on certain things is because I want the interaction. I want to talk to you. I want to hear what you thought. I want to hear why you think I'm cringeworthy and things like that. For example, I'm wearing a cardigan, but also a backwards hat. How often do you see that together? I don't know. I was cold, so I threw it on. But that's beside the point. So I hope you guys at least took away just some ideas of what this is going to be. It's going to evolve as we go because that's how my mind works. That's how my brain works. But I just wanted to sit down on the record, off the record, whatever you want to call it, and say, let's do it. I need a slogan. What am I going to say? Money isn't everything. If you focus on time and attention, the money will follow. I like that. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the Flippy Flop.